focusing in on the supply concentration and looking at imports of battery chemicals into some key players, South Korea, which is currently the largest battery producer outside of China, and then also the US, which will become a large producer of lithium-ion batteries eventually. And we can see that South Korea is currently highly dependent on lithium hydroxide from China. The country imported just over 100,000 tons of lithium hydroxide in 2024, and about 20, that represents roughly 23% of global hydroxide production, and 82% of this was actually sourced from China. In comparison, the US imported less than 1 kiloton of hydroxide in 2024. Both countries are highly dependent on South America for lithium carbonate units, with 98% and 99% of all carbonate imports coming from the region, respectively, in 2024. Against a backdrop of increasing geopolitical risks, governments and companies are taking measures to reduce their exposure by building domestic supply chains and investing in assets abroad that are situated in more stable jurisdictions. South Korean cathode manufacturer POSCO has taken steps to address the reliance on Chinese-sourced lithium hydroxide by building a spodumene conversion facility in a joint venture with Pilbara, whilst also owning and operating the Sal de Oro project in Argentina. In comparison, in the US, under the Biden administration, billions of dollars in loans were awarded to critical mineral projects, including lithium projects in Nevada, in a push to increase domestic production and therefore reduce reliance on imports. However, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which would remove any remaining IRA funding for the US Department of Energy's Loan Program Office, whilst also eliminating the 45X credit, as Trump and Republican lawmakers aim to cut government support for green energy projects. Current project developers have said that they see the credit as a key component to critical mineral project viability, enabling them to compete with China. Other battery raw materials, if we look at nickel sulfate and cobalt, they are more diversified. We do have options available for sourcing material that isn't produced in high-risk jurisdictions or doesn't pass through China. And while this is possible for now, due to the overall low import volumes, which is especially the case for the US, these regions outside of China or outside of the DRC may not be able to meet future demand.